If you don't like prehistoric bugs crawling on you, now is not the time to explore the banks of the lower Deschutes River near Maupin. If you're a fly fisher, however, it's paradise.
Well, I think fly fishermen love them because a couple things. One, you can see them when you're throwing that dry fly, right? You're fishing something the size of your pinky. You can see that. Two, these fish are just coming out of winter. It's kind of our first big hatch of the year, bringing fish to the surface, and the takes can be pretty explosive. It's fun to pitch your fly up underneath a tree, and it looks like a bowling ball falls on top of it sometimes when they come up to eat it. So it's fun. You can't beat that.
It's the biggest hatch of the year for the trout fishermen that come from all over the world to fish this hatch. We're really lucky because the Deschutes flows at such a steady rate.
Equipment-wise, all you need are waders, a 5-weight fly rod, floating line, up to a 9-foot-long leader with 4X tippet, and the right flies.
Our river is almost always in perfect condition during this hatch, and so far so good. We've been able to keep these hatches of bugs rolling every year. We've got the big three, which is the salmon fly, golden stone, and the yellow sally.
About 2/3 of the annual trout fishing effort on the lower Deschutes River occurs during May and June as anglers ply the water with big dry salmon flies and stonefly imitations.
There's always a couple days every year during this hatch that are ridiculous. They're just epic. I mean, to the point where you're fishing a fly that's got 2 pieces of hair left on it and no hackle, and you're looking at it and thinking maybe I should change it, but you just pitch it back up there and they still eat it. I mean, it is the time of year, if you hit it right, to have that 50, 75, 100 fish day.
Did we hear you right? 50,
yeah,
75?
I've seen it. I've definitely seen it.
Even during the salmon fly and stonefly hatch, most days aren't that easy. Anglers need to hike along steep, rocky, brushy shores and cast in confined spaces where the odds are even of catching a tree as well as a trout.
We call this jungle water on the Deschutes. Anywhere there's these overhanging trees, a lot of grass down in the jungle water. It's the stuff where these fish are looking for these bugs, and this time of day, right in the shade there, is the kind of water you're looking for.
If it looks like you're gonna die getting down to the river from the road, that's where you wanna fish during this hatch, because those places will have trees hanging over the river, and that allows the bugs that are crawling in the trees to fall right into the river, and the trout are in that deep water just ready to come up and eat those flies.
Ooh, we looked at it.
If a fish rises to a dry fly but refuses to take it, Alex Goncheski immediately changes to a smaller fly.
In my 12 years on this river, they don't ever come back to the same fly. They usually come back to a different fly. So my go-to in that situation is something sparse, something that just is more of the illusion of food than some giant thing. So I'll tie on something a little smaller and put it back up there. Oftentimes it's successful.
If you pitch a Normwood special up there and you see a fish come up and look at your fly and go down, you know that it's already aware of that pattern. It knows the Normwood special. So you always have something else in your fly box that you can change to, like a Clark stone. You got the El Camino stone, you got DeMoe's Mill Creek golden stone. There's all kinds of great patterns. So we would load you up with the right patterns for the hatch.
We all want to come and fish this hatch, but there's a lot of other stuff going on the Deschutes at this time of year, and you need to be prepared for any of it. You might see a really good mayfly hatch. I last week had a green drake hatch that lasted an hour and 20 minutes, and those fish will not touch anything else but green drakes if they're coming off. You can't just leave all that stuff in the truck. You need to have all your full quiver when you come down to the river during this hatch.
If you miss the salmon and stonefly hatch, no worries. Caddisflies hatch all summer long in the Deschutes River. Caddisflies aren't as big, but they catch plenty of fish. From the lower Deschutes River, I'm Brooks Snavely for The Great Outdoors.